Hello everyone, I hope everyone are doing fine. So I welcome you to the Python course which is powered by edspread. So I hope you guys are doing fine, and so let us see what we are going to do in the course. So first of all, let me show you what will you learn in the course. So we'll see all these things: what is programming, what are the types of programming languages, mostly used programming languages, and many other things such as object-oriented programming concepts, what are the OOPS concepts, difference between all the programming languages, and etc. Right? So let us see what is the next slide. These are the course outcomes. So the outcomes are nothing but the things which can be done by you after completing the course. So you will be understanding the concepts of object oriented programming, and you will be able to use Python programming to implement solution to the problems, and model the problem using OP strategies, and handle exceptions. Exceptions is a topic which is covered in the course, which is in Python. So you will be able to handle the exceptions, and we will be able to use the files and perform file handling operations, and you will be able to develop GUIs. GUIs is nothing but graphical user interface, right? Graphical user interface is nothing but running the program in the new window and in the graphical type, not in the terminal, right? So we see all these things. So first let us see what is programming. A programming language is a computer language that is used by the developers to communicate with the computers, right? So programming is nothing but it is a set of instructions written in any language. There are many languages, many programming languages such as C++, Python, Java, and etc., right? So programming language is nothing but it is a computer language that is used by programmers, right? A programming language can be used to develop any kind of applications such as web applications, Android applications, and many other things such as websites, etc., right? So let us see the types of programming languages. Types of programming languages, there are namely three types of programming languages. Those are nothing but low level programming language, high level programming language, and medium level programming language. So Python comes under high level programming language. So first of all, let us see what are the three types of programming languages and examples of each them, right? So first let us see about low level programming language. Low level is nothing but machine dependent or machine level language, right? Machine level language is nothing but the language which is understood by the computer, not understood by us. So the language is completely in zeros and ones, right? Zeros and ones is nothing but binary system, right? Binary numbers. So it is completely in binary numbers. So the processor runs low level programs directly without the need of compiler or interpreter, right? So we will be seeing what is a compiler, what is the interpreter once we go deep into the course, and we will also be seeing the differences between these two, right? So for now, just try to understand what I am saying to tell, and you will be able to clear all the doubts once you get into the deep of the course, right? So the programs written in the low level language can be run very fastly, right? Because the computer directly understands what is the program doing, because it is completely in zeros and ones, right? So low level language is further divided into two parts. One is machine language, and another one is assembly language. So let us see what are these two. Machine language. Machine language is a type of low level programming language, right? It is also called as machine code or object code. Okay, so machine language is easier to read because it is normally displayed in binary or hexadecimal form. Binary is nothing but base 2, right? So hexadecimal is nothing but base 16. Okay, so the normal numbers which you write are base 10, right? So binary are different base, and hexadecimal are different base. They are hexadecimal is of base 16 form, right? It does not require a translator. Translator is nothing but the uh, the thing which converts the one language to another language. That is nothing but high level language to machine level language, and etc. So since the language is already low level programming, low level, it is understood by the computer, so we need not to translate it again, right? So because of this, these are very fast. Okay, so let us see what is assembly language. Assembly language is also a type of low level programming language that is used for specific processors. Okay, It represents a set of instructions in a symbolic and human understandable form. It is nothing but it can be understood by us. Okay, it uses an assembler to convert the assembly language into machine language. Okay, so we are using a thing called assembler here. Using the assembler, we'll convert the assembly language into the machine language. Okay, so we are using an assembler which will convert the assembly language into the machine language. Okay, so there is advantage of using assembly language. The advantage of assembly language is that it requires less memory and less execution time to execute a program. Okay, so now let us see what is a high level programming language. High level programming language is designed for developing user friendly software programs and websites. That is nothing but developing any kind of applications, right? So this programming language requires a compiler or interpreter to transfer the program into machine language, right? So in order to execute the program, we must change the programming code into the low level language. Why? Because the computer can understand only low level language, that is machine level language, right? So since we are writing in high level programming language, we need to convert it into a low level programming language. So to convert that one, we are using a compiler or an interpreter. Okay, so the main advantage of high level language is that it is easy to read, write and maintain. Okay, so that is nothing but high level language can be read and written by humans are nothing but us, right? So we can easily write this. So there are examples of high level programming language written over here. So high level programming language includes Python, Java, JavaScript, PHP, C hash, C++, and many other programming languages, Swift and Objective-C, right? So I hope you guys understood what is meant by high level programming language. That is nothing but user friendly code which can be written by us, right? So in order to run this high level programming language, we need to convert this into these two. That is nothing but machine language, that is low level programming language. How we will convert that one? With the use of a compiler or an interpreter. Okay, so a high level language is further divided into two parts, right? So this is divided into another two parts, that is procedural oriented programming language and object oriented programming language. So Python comes under object oriented programming language. So let us see what is this. Procedural oriented programming language. Procedural oriented programming language is derived from structured programming. So now what is a structured programming? Structured programming is nothing but which contains routines or functions. Okay, so procedure oriented programming language can be accomplished by using a programming editor like IDE, Adobe Dreamweaver, or Microsoft Visual Studio Code. So this is the code editor which we'll be using throughout the course. So within a few minutes, I will be showing how to install this Microsoft Visual Studio Code, and I will be showing you how to install the Python. Okay, so this is procedure oriented programming language which contains functions. It can be seen in C language. Right, in C language, we can see procedure oriented programming language. So there is an example: C, Pascal, and etc. Many languages follow procedure oriented programming language. So now let us see object oriented programming language. Object oriented programming, it is short formed as OOP, is based upon the objects, right? So everything under in the object oriented programming language is an object. Okay, so these things which you will be learning deep inside the course. So we will be learning the objects and the chapter classes and objects, right? So you will be learning very deeply in that chapter. So for now, just understand what I'm trying to say. Everything inside a object-oriented programming language is an object. In this programming language, programs are divided into small parts called objects. Okay, it is used to implement real-world entities like inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction in the program to make the program reusable, efficient, and easy to use. So we will be discussing inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction detailedly in the next coming slides, right? So the examples of the object-oriented programming language are C++, Java, Python, C hash, and many other languages. Okay, so now let us see medium level programming language, and so this is the last one. So middle level programming language lies between the low level programming language and high level programming language. Okay, so it is not a low level programming language and it is not a high level programming language, right? So it is also known as intermediate programming language because it lies between high level and low level. Okay, So it is also known as pseudo language. A middle level programming language advantages are that it supports the features of high level programming. It is a user friendly language and closely related to machine language, right? So it is not only closely related to the machine level language, but it is also closely related to the high level language. So these are the quite advantage of middle level language. So examples are C++ languages. Okay, so now let us see the next slide. Mostly used programming languages. So there are many programming language in our world, right? So there are some of the popular programming language are listed here. So currently all sectors like education, hospitals, banks, automobiles and more completely depend on the programming language, right? So wherever you go, there will be a software engineer working on a particular language, right? Wherever the company you go. So there are many languages. Different companies will use different languages, right? So these are the different types of programming languages: Python, Java, C++, and we are having Ruby here. We are having PHP and R language, right? So these are the different types of programming languages. So let us see what is Python programming now. Since we are our course is Python, so let us see what is a Python programming. Python is a general purpose interpreted interactive object oriented high level programming language. Okay, so now let me explain what are the terms which are written in this sentence. So the first term, let us come with high level programming language. So I have explained you what is a high level programming language. High level programming language is nothing but user friendly and which can be easily written by human beings, right? So it is easy to write and easy to read. So we have seen what is a high level programming language. And now let us see what is object oriented. Object oriented is nothing but explained here. It is explained here. Object oriented programming language. It is totally based upon the objects, right? And it is used to implement real world entities such as inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction. These three are nothing but OOPS concepts, right? So let us see them in detail afterwards. So let us go down. And interactive. Interactive is nothing but it can be run, and we can change the code and we can run again, so it will give the different output, right? So it is interactive. And one other one is interpreted. I have told you previously that we use interpreter or compiler in order to convert high level language into low level language. Why we are converting to low level language? Because computer can understand only low level language, right? So we are using an interpreter here. So I will discuss about the differences of compiler and interpreter as well in the uh, coming time. So why we are using interpreter also we will be discussing, right? So it was created by this man Van Rossum during 1985 and 1990. Okay, so like other programming languages such as Perl, Python, source code is available under the GNU General Public License. Okay, so the following are the features of Python programming language. Python is interpreter based language. Interpreter is nothing but it will compile the code line by line. Okay, so it will convert the high level language code into low level language code line by line. Okay, and what does the compiler do? Compiler will convert the high level language into low level language at a time. Okay, so the total code is converted at a time, but in interpreter, line by line, a code is converted into high level language into low level language. Okay, so that is the difference between compiler and interpreter. So there is a few advantages and disadvantages of using an interpreter. So using an interpreter, we can debug the code easily. Debugging is nothing but finding the bugs in the code. There is nothing but finding the errors in the code because the code is converted line by line. And the disadvantage is the interpreter is slow compared to compiler. Why it is slow? Because it is being executed line by line. Okay, so what is why compiler is fast? Because compiler converts the high level language into low level language at a time completely. So it is fast, right? So next is Python object oriented. Python is object oriented. So we have seen this already. Python is a beginner's language. So let me explain you why is Python a beginner's language. Python is very easy. It is very easy compared to C, C++, and Java and many other programming languages. So uh, it is a user-friendly language and it is a beginner-friendly language, right? So we can easily learn Python if you put a little bit of concentration. So okay, so let us see what are the applications of Python. Python can be used for artificial intelligence and machine learning. It can be used for data analytics. It can be used for data visualization, programming applications, web development, game development, language development, and finance. Okay, so these are the applications of Python. Python is also used for uh, in widely as web development and game development, and it is also used widely in AI and machine learning. Okay, so now let us see how to install Python in our system. So I assume that you do not have any you do not have Python or any code editor. So let me go to the browser. Let me show you how to install those. So what you're gonna do is open any browser and go to Google, and what you're gonna do is Python download. Just type this one, and you will be getting a link here. So just put download Python here, and you will be seeing here download Python 3.10.0. So at the time which I am downloading, the version of Python is 3.10.0. So at the time you are downloading, they might have upgraded it one. So they will be updating, the developers of Python will be updating the version of this one. So you can see here the first release version of 3.10, the first release version of 3.9. 3.9 was released in May, 3.10 was released recently. Okay, so the end of support is 2026, so it will be running for next 5 years at least. Okay, so once you press this one, it will be downloaded Python. Okay, so next thing what we're gonna do is, so first of all let us install the Python. Once you go there and open this one, open the downloaded file and just press install now and select yes. And now Python is being installed, right? So while Python is being installed, so let us also install the code editor which we'll be using for throughout the course. So I have chosen Visual Studio Code because it is very easy. So let us write Visual Studio Code download and press enter. So you'll be getting this link. Once you press this one, you will see a page like this. So what you're gonna do is just select, if you're a Linux user, go here. If you're a Mac user, just install this one. Since I'm using Windows 10, so I will be selecting the 64-bit. My PC is Windows 10 and it is a 64-bit. Okay, so I will go for Windows and I will download 64-bit. So I have already downloaded this file. So let us wait until this Python installs and let us install the Visual Studio Code next. So let us also see the first Python program. How you gonna write? I hope you guys are excited because you're going to write the first Python code in a few minutes, right? So the Python is being installed. So let us wait until this thing finishes. So meanwhile, let us see. So this is the code, Visual Studio Code. So okay, so now setup was successful. Okay, so the Python is successfully installed. So this will be the file which will be downloaded if you download the Visual Studio Code. So what you're gonna do is just open this one and accept the agreement and click next and check the directory. You can change the directory wherever you want. I prefer C drive. So next and next. So make sure to check all these boxes. So it will create a desktop icon and it will create open with code. That is nothing but when you press right click on wherever you want, you will be getting an option with for open with code option that will open the Visual Studio Code automatically. So let us see next and one more next, that is install. So now Visual Studio Code is being installed. So let us wait until this thing installs. So while this thing is installed, so let us see what are the things we can do. So we have seen up to applications of Python. So it is installed successfully. Now let us do launch Visual Studio Code. Let us uncheck this one and finish. And let me close the PPT. Let me close the browser again. Okay, so now there you go. We got Visual Studio Code here. So what you're gonna do is just open Visual Studio Code. So these are the things which I did earlier. So just ignore these things. So I will show you what it will look for you. So it will be looking exactly like this once you open Visual Studio Code, right? So what we're gonna do is you will be getting an option like this. So select Python interpreter. So since we have downloaded Python 3.10.0 version, just select this one. Okay, so now Python is selected. So what you're gonna do first thing is go to here, the left thing, extensions you will find. You'll find an option for extensions. Just select this one. And what you do is go to here and search for Python. And after that, select the first one. I have already installed this one, so you will be getting an option to install. Okay, so just press install and leave the PC for 1 to 2 minutes. It will be installed automatically. Okay, so make sure to install the extension. So without this extension, we won't be able to run the Python code smoothly. Okay, so next close this one and remove this one, and let me run the. So what you're gonna do is select file and new file. Okay, so once you selected the new file, go to file again and save as. Okay, so let us go to desktop and let us create a new folder. And let us write Python codes. And inside this one, let us create another folder. And let us name it as basic programs. Okay, so inside the basic programs, so let us write first underscore program. So remember, whenever you try to save the program, you need to put .py at the end. Okay, so and no just avoid any other characters. Use only underscore in between if you want to use space. Okay, so first underscore program, and don't forget to put dot and py. Okay, so now the file will be saved as a Python file. Okay, so first program.py. So just save this one. So okay, now the file has opened. The name is first underscore program. Okay, so what you're gonna do is, if you want to get anything out of the on the output window, just write print here, print, and just open the open brackets and just put apostrophes and write whatever you want. So let us write hello world, hello space world. Okay, so what you're gonna do is file, just save. Okay, so our program is ready, our first program is ready. See how simple is Python is. It is very simple. If you want to write anything on the output window, just put print here. Okay, so now let us see how to run this program. Just go to top right, you'll be finding this play button. Play is nothing but run. Okay, so just click on that one, and since we are using this for the first time, it will take a little time. Okay, so it is being run. So let us wait till the output comes. Okay, here comes the output, hello world. Okay, so this is our first program. Okay, so I hope you guys understood how to write a print statement in Python. Print is nothing but the print function is used to write anything on the output window. Okay, so if you want to write anything else, just put print and write. So let us write my name is any name, just your name. So I will write just a name. Okay, so and if you want to run the program, don't forget to file, save. Instead of going every time to file and save, just press Control plus S simultaneously. Control plus S, so it is saved again. So what you're gonna do is just go here, right, and run the program. Here you got the output, hello world, and another statement. Okay, so I hope you guys got what is the print function and how you can write the uh, first program in Python. Okay, so this is how you use the Visual Studio Code. And if you guys have any kind of doubts in installing Python or Visual Studio Code, do let us know. We will be more than happy to help you.